Kazakhstan has chosen the multi-vector integration. Its trends, collisions, and prospects are coming up in the Single Market Program.
Today in the program, Kazakhstan-China, regional accents of cooperation. 1C, 5 countries, Caspian Convention. Sensation in market, Kazakhstan's wind power plants are exported now. Plastic products in eco format. Hello, my name is Yerke Bulan Bekmukhambet. You are watching the Single Market Program. Kazakhstan and China have reached a new level of cooperation, an interregional one. With this approach, trade and economic ties are becoming more stable and effective. The areas of interaction has a local character and the dialogue is conducted directly. Partners on the spot can get all the necessary information, explore the regional peculiarities of business conditions, and determine the niches in which they will cooperate. Trade and economic cooperation between Kazakhstan and China is being strengthened today through projects implemented in the framework of synchronization of the global Chinese initiative, One Belt, One Way, and Kazakhstan's national programs for the development of transport logistics and industrial modernization. This vector of partnership implies the expansion of the geography of joint projects. In addition to the central and western regions, where the financial and raw material resources of Kazakhstan are mainly accumulated, business from the Middle Kingdom increasingly includes into the orbit of its interest other regions of our republic. This oil processing plant, built on Chinese investments, is located in the North Kazakhstan region. The start of the new enterprise took place at the end of 2016. We invested $20 million in the first phase of the construction of the enterprise. The plant was built in a record short period of time, just half a year. The realization of the project commenced in May of 2016, and already in December we had the first batch of goods ready for sale. It produces unrefined oil, which is fully exported to a Chinese plant located in the dry port of Xi'an, where oil is purified and further product redistribution is carried out. We believe that Kazakhstan is almost the only country which produces environmentally clean vegetable raw materials. At the same time, they are of quite high quality. For example, the fat content of China's oil seeds is around 42%, and in Kazakhstan, 48 to 50%. This project put the foundation for the development of Kazakh-Chinese business ties at the regional level. For example, 2018 was marked by the strengthening of trade and economic relations between North Kazakhstan and the province of Hubei. At the same time, meetings took place here and there throughout the year. We are interested in mutually beneficial cooperation, especially in such areas as economics, trade, culture, education, and tourism. But before starting any project, you need to create a roadmap, calculate all the risks and opportunities. Nevertheless, the delegation from Hubei arrived in northern Kazakhstan, having a preliminary plan in hand, in which the application projects were registered. These include the construction of a plant to assemble cargo, passenger and municipal transport equipment, and the phase formation of an industrial park.
第一期就是将中国以 CKD、SKD、EPC 方式，就是说以那个散件的方式，把汽车、机械装备的零部件从中国最好的企业里送到哈萨克来。当时，我们已经有了那个162公顷土地，这个土地已经做好了勘探。去年11月，州长先生到湖北的时候，把这些土地资料交给我们了，我们现在进行规划。
It is expected that the new industrial park, the creation of which will bring together businessmen from Hubei province, will open up 4,000 jobs. At the same time, the staff will be trained in a special educational center right in the park. The authorities of the North Kazakhstan region promise preferences within the Kazakh program to support investment projects that are implemented in priority areas of the economy.
There is
an opportunity for investors to grant exemption from corporate income tax. They can count on the import of equipment without customs duties, on exemption from land and property taxes. In addition to engineering, Chinese investors are interested in industrial projects related to the production of chemical and electrical products. They're also ready to work in the construction sector to share their experience in the construction of such facilities as trading houses, hotels, and entertainment centers. The perspective of cooperation in the agro-industrial complex, in particular in the livestock sector, was mentioned too. Representatives of the North Kazakhstan region invited the delegation from Hubei to work in two following areas: to do trade and participate in creation of high-tech industries. The products is organic as well as competitive at a price. The cost of beef, lamb and milk is up to 3 times cheaper than in China. The experts believe that this interregional cooperation can become successful from both sides, since it is based on the coincidence of opportunities and business interests.
В августе 2018 года в казахстанском городе...
In August 2018, an important event took place in the Kazakh city of Aktau. The heads of Kazakhstan, Russia, Iran, Azerbaijan, and Turkmenistan signed the Convention on the Legal Status of the Caspian Sea. This document actually replaced the Soviet-Iranian agreements, which were signed in 1921 and in the 1940s. The rules of the game for the Caspian countries in the framework of the new convention will be described by our observer, Alexander Galiyev.
Каспийских стран в рамках новой конвенции расскажет наш обозреватель Александр Галиев.
First of all, it should be noted that the Caspian Sea is a special territory. First, from the point of view of geography, the sea is located at the junction of 2 parts of the world, Europe and Asia. Secondly, it is about the interest of 5 countries with a combined population of about 240 million people. It is no coincidence that the president of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev, called this convention a kind of the constitution of the Caspian Sea, which is designed to resolve the whole range of issues related to the rights and obligations of the coastal countries, and to become a guarantee of the security, stability, and prosperity of the region as a whole. So what are the main points mentioned in this document?
Итак, какие основные тезисы обозначены в этом документе?
The Caspian becomes a zone free from the presence of third armed forces. The convention fixed a provision on the prevention of the presence of armed forces that do not belong to the parties to the treaty. Responsible for maintaining maritime security and managing its resources are the 5 Caspian states: Russia, Iran, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, and Kazakhstan.
Азербайджан, Туркменистан и Казахстан.
A very important point is to recognize that the Caspian is the sea. In accordance with the convention, the main area of the water surface of the Caspian Sea de jure is recognized as sea, but not a lake, with all the ensuing consequences. And this puts an end to years of disputes in this matter. The next point is that the Caspian Sea remains in the common use of the parties, and the bottom and subsoil are divided by neighboring states into plots by agreement between them on the basis of international law. Shipping, fishing, scientific research, and laying of main pipelines are carried out according to the rules agreed upon by the parties. In particular, when laying a trunk pipeline on the seabed, consent is required only from the side through whose sector the pipeline will run. The next point is the following. The convention involves cooperation in the combat against terrorism. There are 2 agreements here. The Caspian Sea is located near hotspots, and the energy transmission routes as well as offshore platforms passing through the Caspian region can be targeted for terrorist attacks. instead of a conclusion. According to experts, the convention makes it possible to clearly formulate the rules of the game in the Caspian Sea and thereby provides answers to many controversial issues that have developed around the sea for many years. That is it for today. My name is Alexander Galiev. Generating electricity through renewable sources is one of the directions for a new scenario for the development of the energy system in Kazakhstan. Our republic buys necessary equipment abroad. Very few people know that in the republic there is an enterprise that produces installations that can compete in the world market. Our correspondent, Elena Orlovskaya, is ready to fill this gap. Jean-Bulat Muzbayev created his first wind turbines in 2000s. Motivation was the most utilitarian, to provide his own farming located far from the center with electricity. This was 10 or 12 years ago. They were unpretentious. I got the first 2 volts, some kind of light bulb blinked. I was glad that I managed to do something, so I started to work just to increase the power. In the end, the work on designing and creating these generators, which initially was done in an almost artisanal way, grew into the idea of opening a manufacturer of wind turbines. So a specialized enterprise was opened in Almaty. Today we represent ourselves as a design bureau where there are qualified specialists such as power engineers, electronic engineers, designers, that is masters of engineers who work on equipment. Today the power of wind turbines designed by Muzbayev reaches almost 1 megawatt. Work on the improvement of the models is in progress. This model is a layout. It is completely done to create a shape. Later, composite materials will be poured into the shape. The emphasis on composite materials is not accidental. They, due to their multi-component composition, have high strength. Reinforced fibers, which are contained in such materials, reduce the risk of cracks. By the way, the basic components of which these wind generators are made are of domestic production. Iron is purchased in Karaganda and copper in Balkhash. These generators are unique in their design. They do not have additional rotary mechanisms, so the blades of the units are practically independent of the direction of the wind. In addition, there is no contact group. That is, there's practically nothing to wear out there. We carried out even more severe tests. We lowered our generator under the water, turned it, and it produced electricity. The advantage of wind turbines produced in Kazakhstan is that they do not harm the environment. They are low speed, quiet, and do not produce ultrasounds, which negatively affect people and animals. All these advantages were taken into account when Astana, preparing for the Expo, selected objects for positioning ideas of clean energy. We were given the opportunity to put our work on Green Boulevard, near Khan Shatir, and since our works attracted the attention of our president, we installed one installation at his residence. Today, the company cooperates in Kazakhstan with oil-producing companies, organizations and structures that are engaged in the development of smart city projects, farms, as well as agencies responsible for protecting the country's borders. Among the new orders, there is the production of wind turbines for the units of the border service of the Republic that protects the border in the conditions of a sharp continental climate. There are really severe climatic conditions. These are very strong winds, very strong heat, and in winter the temperature drops to -50. Our system has been working for several months there. The information about unique wind turbines whose production was mastered in Kazakhstan spread on social networks to neighboring countries, Russia, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan. The first export orders were made from there. Later, Mongolia and Indonesia showed interest in the product. We cooperate with Indonesia. As you know, this is an island state where the problem with power supply is very actual. They order the turbines and install them on their own.
Они заказывают у нас установки, монтаж делают самостоятельно.
The company plans to expand the geography of exports. Among the new potential areas is the supply of products to Afghanistan. The company representing the interest of the Afghan side is now studying all the necessary information to make a final decision. The company's top management has special hopes for Expo 2020, which will be held in the United Arab Emirates.
Мы планируем принимать участие там.
We're going to participate there. We prepare our own development. It is still a secret, but I think that we can show them already there on the spot.
Мы их сможем показать уже там на месте.
The experience of this Kazakh enterprise shows that one should not be afraid to learn new niches of production, even if the domestic market is mainly imported products.
Главное иметь хорошую идею, созвучную мировым.
The main thing is to have a good idea which is consonant with world trends, to develop a business plan capable of picking up the wind of change in the technological perspectives.
На западе Казахстана работает...
In western Kazakhstan, there is a unique enterprise for the production of plastic bags. They use technology that is friendly to the environment. What is its secret? Our correspondent in Oktobe has found it out.
В Октобе.
Plastic. We come across with this material every day. Experts say that over the past 10 years, more plastic products have been produced than for the entire century. Today, waste from plastic has accumulated so much that they pose a great threat to the environment. Every year, about 13 million tons of plastic debris comes into the ocean. As a result, tens of thousands of birds and marine mammals are killed. According to ecologists, this problem needs to be addressed comprehensively in the framework of the green economy.
Чтобы можно было действительно реализовывать целиком.
To be able to really implement the whole complex systems, do not separately just put some element, for example a screw, but really use other approaches, other technologies.
Другие подходы на другие технологии.
In the summer of 2018, in Oktobe, in the territory of the industrial zone, the release of environmentally friendly plastic bags started.
Мы производим пакеты с добавлением D2W.
We produce bags with the addition of D2W. These bags are slightly more expensive than just packages, and we have a certificate from this manufacturer that we use this additive.
Сертификат этого производителя о том, что мы эти добавку использовали.
Addition of D2W is introduced into the polymer in a proportion of 1 to 99. As a result, when the plastic product serves its term, the decomposition reaction is accelerated by atmospheric action, and the environment is less harmed. Biodegradation additive D2W was developed several years ago by the British company Symphony. Plastic products which are produced with such an additive are slightly more expensive than those produced in the usual way. Nevertheless, this technology is based on a rational approach.
Есть много исследований, которые доказывают, что...
There are many researches that prove that it is much more profitable to invest in innovative technologies, because even if they are initially more expensive, they last longer in the market, and they allow to receive a larger share of the return on capital. The total amount of investments in this project was 500 million tenge. The potential production capacity is 1,200 tons of eco-packages per year. In a relatively short time, the company managed to supply its products to the western and northern regions of the Republic. To enter a foreign market, you probably need to supply the domestic market first, because most of packages are delivered from China. The company plans to occupy the third part of the Kazakhstan market. To increase the competitiveness of products, the plant sets a long-term goal to optimize the price. This can be done by reducing the cost of consumables. For example, the main raw materials, polyethylene, are now purchased from foreign producers. We buy raw materials from Russia, Uzbekistan, Iran, and Korea. Naturally, this is more expensive than if the production of polyethylene would be here, in Kazakhstan. Chinese investors are going to build a plant for the production of polyethylene in Aktobe region. Such a perspective is an advantage for this enterprise. In any case, this will have a positive impact on the volume and price of products that are produced here. That's it for today. My name is Yerkebulan Bekmuhambet. See you in the single market.
До встречи в программе Single Market.